Hey everyone, Christina Simmons with the Catholic Leadership Puzzle here. And it's been a few months since I jumped on specifically to talk about leadership puzzle topics and different things. And partially for those of you in the leadership puzzle community who are unaware, my husband passed back in November on Veterans Day due to lung cancer. And so it's been a couple of months and just have been kind of maintaining things and hadn't really been focusing on leadership puzzle specific stuff until I had to lead a strategic planning retreat a couple of weeks ago. And in the process, I realized I got some stuff I need to share with the community. So I am here to do that. Probably one of the biggest things that, especially at the beginning of a year, and most people associate, especially in ministry, they associate a new year with the fall and into the spring. But the fact is that all of us, at least on a personal level, might look at goal setting for like 2025, for example, or during this year of Jubilee for those of us within the Catholic Church. And what is it that we're going to do for this Jubilee year? Well, in order to really get clear on what it is that we might be able to start going about, we have to do an analysis. We have to do a survey of what's actually going on now. We have to look at what might be possible, what might be some attainable goals and objectives. So often what we do is that we look at our vision and we go, oh, we need to do this or we need to do that. And I'm just as guilty as anyone else out there of what are the possibilities, what are the things that we could do that are new. But what we tend to do is that we tend to not look at, okay, what is it that our community is doing right now, or what am I doing in my personal life right now that is going to prevent me maybe from being able to attain those very legitimate and very excellent goals that we want to bring about. So, one of the biggest things that we can do is that we can do an exercise that I call stop, start, or continue. And what this does is that we look at things in light of our vision, in light of what is the ultimate goal for what it is that we're doing. So, on a personal level, for those of us, we are called to sanctity, we're called to holiness, we're called to become our best selves. So, we need to look at our lives in all different aspects, physically, emotionally, intellectually, as well as spiritually, and then, also financially in a practical way, and our, socially. And we look at all of these things and we say, okay, what is it that I'm doing right now? What's my life look like? We need to do an assessment. We need to look at in a very realistic and healthy way and say, okay, what's working, what's not, and then we look at, okay, what are some goals that we might be able to do? What are some objectives that we can develop during this next year? So, this exercise of stop, start, or continue is simply, and you can just do three, categories: stop or pause, start, and continue. So, you can just take a piece of paper and you can write it down: stop, start, continue. And then what you do is that you take a look at your life and you say, okay, what are some things that I need to stop or I need to pause right now? What are some things that I need to start? What are some things that I can continue? So, for example, in my own life, I'm doing a lot of this in light of the fact of I no longer have a spouse. So, some of my responsibilities and some of the things that I might normally be doing I'm no longer going to be doing. So, for example, cooking and preparing meals used to be a much bigger thing because I was taking care of someone else. And that isn't as big a deal. Do I still need to cook? Do I still need to be taking care of meals? Yes, I still need to eat. But the fact is that there's some things that can be put on pause. So, like a lot of us have subscriptions to different things that we no longer use, well, those can be put, those can be stopped, or those can be put on pause for a while. Because, like, for example, an Audible subscription for audiobooks, if you're not listening to audiobooks, well, that's a subscription that you can put on pause, or you can just stop it. You can cancel it. And that's not just about a way of saving money, but rather it's a reflection of what are your current priorities right now. I am, going to be, and I am getting back into running and biking consistently, but I'm going to do a couple of major events this year. I'm hoping to do a long bike ride, sometime in May, and then I'm going to be doing another marathon at the end of this year. Well, there's particular things that I have to stop doing in order to be able to do that, to carve out the time to be able to go and run, for example. And then what do I need to start doing? Well, I need to be starting, blocking out time. And what are some things I need to continue? I still need to continue doing my flexibility and strength training. I still need to be doing my bike riding because that all contributes, like, for example, training for a marathon. And what's something that I need to be attentive to, so that I can attain these goals and these objectives during this next year. So that's just a very simple way on a personal level. Now, when it comes to when you're leading any kind of ministry or any kind of team, you want to, set goals and objectives for your coming year. Again, is about setting priorities. And everything, whenever we are setting a priority, it's all about aligning and tying it to what's our why, what's our vision, what is our purpose. And then we're able to develop the how. How are we going to do this before we get to the what? What exactly are we going to do? So, again, we have to assess and we have to look at our community, our team, our ministry, very realistically and healthy way, so that we can say, okay, this activity that we've done, last year, or we've done for several years, it no longer is helping us accomplish our goals are of helping people, of whatever our ministry might be, or this team activity no longer is helping us, or it served its purpose. We need to set it aside. It could be maybe communication is a challenge within our team. Maybe we need to start having one-on-one conversations with one another, and where we kind of rotate over the course of a month, and where we sit down with one another for 10, 15 minutes over coffee or whatever. And we just have a conversation, getting to know one another, what's going on in your life, being able to understand what it is that motivates someone and really inspires them and gets them excited, because knowing that about a person then helps us being able to work together with them more effectively. So those are the kind of things that we have to look and say, okay, where are we? What are our challenges? That's where a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, or challenges, comes into play. And this stop, start, or continue exercise helps you build upon that SWOT analysis in order to be able to determine, okay, here's a strength, here's a weakness. I brought up communication, for example. So we need to stop maybe just having informal lunches, and maybe we need to start having these one-on-one conversations instead. So you're not asking people for more time, but rather you are restructuring the time in order to be able to improve on communication, for example. So these are just a couple of different things, just kind of on the fly, that I was thinking of that might be able to help you. So as you're starting this 2025, be attentive to realistically looking at where are you right now, and then saying, okay, this is where we are. Use a SWOT analysis is a good way to do that. And then say, okay, what activities, what things, events, programs are we doing right now that aren't helping us be able to achieve our vision, aren't helping us be able to become, the ministry we're supposed to be, or the people we are supposed to be as a team. So you look at those activities and you say, well, we probably need to stop or just put on pause for a while. Maybe we need to just pause a ministry for a bit, because leadership and the participants, you're not really, coming together, and people are excited about things, but you determine best thing would take a break. And nothing wrong with doing that. Just because you pause something doesn't mean that it means it's being canceled forever, and that's an important distinction. So what are the things that we need to continue doing? So for example, on a team, we need to keep celebrating birthdays. Need to do that with, and that's where those informal lunches come in, where we sit and we celebrate the person. We need to continue to do those things, but we need to stop, just kind of gathering together and just kind of chatting, where we're not really getting into in-depth conversations, and instead we need to start doing one-on-one. So again, I hope that this serves you. I hope that this helps you. And it's a real simple, I had created a little worksheet, but the fact is that, again, you can just take a simple piece of paper and you can just write stop, start, and continue on it, and write down the different things that are going on. And you can apply this to yourself personally or to any organization or group that you're responsible for. So again, good to be back. I will be back more consistently in the weeks ahead, particularly as I am now going to be finally, after a year delay, finishing the Catholic Leadership Puzzle book, and hope to get that out to all of you later on this year. I look forward to your questions. I look forward to you guys reaching out and letting me know what's going on, how it is that I can serve you. God bless everybody. Take care.